Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 581 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Teresa Velardi, and I'm really glad she's here because I saw an obituary online that said she died in 1999. So I'm hoping she made that wasn't her, or she made a comeback just to be on our show. All right, so we're going to talk about publishing, and we're going to go back and forth a little bit about the pros and cons of anthologies, and she's got publishing company and all kinds of good stuff. So we'll bring her on in a minute. Hope you didn't miss episode 580. That was Stephen Lentz. He was a former 10-year firefighter EMT, and he held many pitiful jobs before that. But now he's a business coach, and he's owner of his own digital marketing agency, and he poo-poos a lot of the stuff I've been ragging on about branding and let's just go make some money, and then the brand will find you. How about that? So he's episode 580. And anytime you want to get to a back episode, you go to screwthecommute.com and then / and then the episode number. His was 580 and today's 581. All right, so make sure you grab a copy of our automation ebook. It's at screwthecommute.com / automate free. All this stuff and all Teresa's great stuff will be in the show notes. And this book has saved me millions of keystrokes, literally. We actually estimated it. And it allows me to spend more time with customers and prospects and not fighting with my computer. And that's where you want to be, because that's where the money is. So download a copy of that ebook. And this isn't any kind of stupid 3-page, lead magnet kind of crap. This is a 60, 70-page book that shows you the details of all the stuff I've used to handle up to 150,000 subscribers and 65,000 customers without pulling my hair out. So grab a copy. While you're at it, pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com / app. That's APP. It does a bunch of automated stuff for you too. And you can put it on your cell phone and tablet and take us with you on the road. All right. We're still going strong with our program to help persons with disabilities. In my school, getting them trained in internet and digital marketing so that they can not only get good jobs, they can start their own business or both. So we have a GoFundMe campaign set up for that at imtcva.org. Of course, that'll be in the show notes because nobody ever remembers it, / disabilities. And you can actually see two of the people are blind, and they're shooting better videos than I do. So check that out, and any little bit you can throw in is appreciated. And hey, if you're really flush with cash, you could sponsor a person yourself. And wow, what a thing to be proud of, to change somebody's life for the better. All right, let's bring on the main event. Teresa Velardi's here. She's an author and publisher, and she's host of Conversations That Make a Difference podcast. She's a writing and performance coach and a potter. And I'm hoping that's something with pottery and not just she sits on the pot. I don't know what that means exactly. And her daily quiet time and writing keep her focused on her God-given purpose as life unfolds in this ever-changing world. And we've all got a story to tell and a heartfelt message to share. Teresa, are you ready to screw the commute?
Yes, I am. And I screwed the commute a long time ago, Tom.
That's good. Get off that pot and let's go. I guess you could do podcasts from the pot. It'd be podcasts. That's
well, I'm going to go with the first answer you had to Potter. I do make pottery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So every once in a while we all got to sit on the pot, but I make pottery.
Was that where you have one of those things that goes around in a big pile of clay in front of you and your hands are all like shaping the thing? Is that what it is?
Yes, indeed. It's just like what you saw in the movie Ghost, only I can promise you Patrick Swayze has yet to show up in my studio.
Well, he might be there and you just don't know it. You can't see him.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
is that a pretty messy deal? I mean, do you have a kiln to dry them and all that stuff going around circles? Is it slop all over the place? Is it a pretty messy thing?
Yeah. Well, for beginners, yeah, it can be pretty messy. But once you learn how to control the clay, it becomes a really fascinating, process. And actually, I'm going to write a book on this. So
Well, of
let you know.
course you have to. But is this like you go out and dig some clay in your yard? Or is this some special clay or what? What
No.
is?
No, it's not as simple as digging clay in the yard. I buy the clay from a company that manufactures what they call a clay body that is used to be able to make the pots, and it's for various different types of clay, do various things. There's stoneware, there's porcelain, there's all different kinds of clay. But no, I don't go out in the backyard and shovel clay.
Well, I've got a clay body, and it's all squishy, and and you can form it however you want. So, tell everybody what you're doing in the business world with all this publishing stuff.
So I help people get their stories told in books in a variety of different ways. Lately, I've been doing a lot of children's books, which are really awesome. Every single one of them has a lesson. With all of the authors, they bring to the table the characters that they have in their mind. And then I have a brilliant illustrator who's able to take those descriptions and turn them into characters on the pages of the book. We do the editing, we do the formatting, we do everything for you. It's a hybrid publishing company. It saves you the nonsense of having to put things up on Amazon yourself. We just bring the whole package, and you get the finished product and the royalties that go with it.
Well, in the news, there's been a lot of I'll call it noise about the stuff they're trying to teach children nowadays and the
Yeah.
kind of books that they're promoting. I mean, are you in that field or staying away from that field?
I'm staying away from this critical race theory
Hmm.
and all the nonsense that's going on in the world. I think we need to rise above what's happening and really bring wholesome conversations to our children, because no matter what the government says, those children are our children. They've been entrusted to us. When they were born, and it's our job to make sure that they get educated in a way that will help them to be not only successful, but to be, for lack of a better phrase, righteous people. And that's not what they're learning in school today. All these conversations about, like I said, critical race theory, gender dysmorphia, all this stuff. It's like, I mean, when I recently heard somebody say that I listened to a lot of podcasts and a lot of video that people are speaking out about what's going on. And when they're teaching kids um, in, I don't know, second grade, things that go on in an adult bedroom, I'm sorry, I have to draw the line at what I bring to the table. I bring wholesome conversation, not just for children, but for adults. Also, what are you doing in your world that you're making a difference? Are you bringing a business conversation that's going to help someone to grow their business or get into business? Come on board. If you're bringing a conversation about how your life has been transformed through something you experienced, come on board. I'll take that. Don't bring me conversations about about things that are going to put me in the courtroom, so to speak, because I'm very careful about what goes on the pages of the books that come through my publishing company. I want to bring light into this world, leave the darkness behind.
Well, there's an extra word I would throw in there when you said make a difference in the world. I would say make a good difference in the world because
Yes.
all these people are making a difference, that's for sure. But I don't know. I'm glad I'm
Yeah.
so over the hill that I can't remember going up the hill because I'll be dead before if these things take effect. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
a lot of things. And you said second grade, they're doing in kindergarten. They're talking to kids about stuff that's just crazy. I mean, you would think, reading and writing might have some place in schools. I don't know.
Yeah.
Call me crazy, but did you
Yeah.
see that thing out of Baltimore where they had 600 kids, and I think I'm not sure the exact numbers, but only 12 of them could read at their grade level. And many of the high schoolers could only read at kindergarten level.
Yeah, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing because when I went to school, and I'm sure you too, it was reading, writing,
Mhm.
arithmetic, and the things that were going to get you through day to day life. And now it's like I I don't even have a word for it.
Well, we
Uh,
even had home ec and typing and,
yes,
is
yes,
the stuff that you need to succeed in the world,
right,
to
exactly.
feed yourself and,
Right.
you know,
And then there was also the arts, the creative arts,
yeah.
like I learned how to do pottery in a high school classroom, and when there's budget cuts, those are the first things that go. But in the meanwhile, those are the things that bring out who these kids really are. The creative aspect of life, people may think, oh, how are you going to make a living as an artist? Well, let's not talk about some of the the old painters that have, and even new, I know people that are painters that are making their income, and a great income, off of the fact that they've been given these gifts and talents. I believe you come to this world with gifts and talents, and it's your job to use them in order to be able to make your money and make a difference, because it was given to you for a reason. So
Well, I kind of wish you wouldn't have got into the arts because the only I got in big trouble at the Parents' Day when they had all our arts exhibits held up. So
yeah.
I had um, disguised a pen and ink drawing with the Jolly Green Giant, but he was peeing in the valley, so I got in trouble.
Why am
So
I not surprised,
yeah,
Tom?
I
Why
know
am I
you.
not
We go
surprised?
we go way back. She's seen my shenanigans quite a bit. When I think we met, maybe you saw me at Author 101 or something.
Yeah, but I got to know you, and and see your incredibly good sense of humor when I was working with Debbie Allen.
Yeah, you were a project manager and event planner and stuff too,
Mhm.
right, in your career.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the Wake Up Women thing that I saw on your LinkedIn profile?
Wake Up Women is Karen Mayfield. She is the founder of that organization, and I was a leader in that organization for a while, helping her to not only bring women to a conversation of collaboration, but also to put together these collaborative books that you've told me you don't like. So,
We'll talk about that. But oh, I thought it was something like like when women see me, they kind of pass out, not from swooning, but just like, oh my God, this guy, I can't believe him. I'm gonna get away from him. I had to wake him up. Wake Up is my book. Wake 'em Up business presentations. So I'm
yeah.
into the wake up part. So sorry. So since you brought it up, the anthology, people have heard me rag about those a lot. Other than I was in Chicken Soup for the Soul, and then sometimes people ask me to be in one to help draw other people to be in them. But so
Mhm.
I've said, here's what I already said, Teresa, and you can convince me of the benefits of them,
Okay.
that the only people that make money are the people that do the anthologies. And then everybody else has just got some little bit of bragging rights and they're just lumped in with everybody. So go ahead, take it away. Tell me what you think the benefits of anthologies
All
are.
right. Well, first I
And
want
tell
to
tell
first I
everybody
want
what they are, but anyway.
Okay. So first I want to acknowledge that there are a lot of people who are actually excuse me, meeting your definition of what they do out there. So there are people who charge great amounts of money for people to be in anthology books. And then they make all the money, and then the people who are in the book, they just get the book. But the bottom line is you have to be a good marketer for anything that you do. And my idea around the anthology books and the way that I approach them with my authors is that for people who want to write a book, don't have a lot of content yet, and don't even know whether or not they're a good writer or whether they have something to bring to the table based on what the topic is for the anthology, this is a great way for people to get their toe in the water, so to speak, of the writing world. Some people just don't have it, and some people do. When you apply to be in an anthology book, and we have a couple of them going on, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but when you apply for an anthology book and you get in there and you submit your story, the person who's doing the book and the editors, who I am one, will look at it and say, okay, we can work with this, we can modify, we can, change the structure, it will flow with what we have as an idea and other authors have brought to the table, and we can work with you as an author. What that does is it builds confidence in the person who has never authored anything, so that down the line, they may in fact be able to take their message, which may be life-changing for someone else, and bring it to the world in a book of their own. So I look at anthology books first and foremost as a stepping stone to your own book. What do you think about that answer, Tom?
Okay, well, what if they really just stink?
If they think, you tell them that, there's also coaching that comes, that
Okay.
can be, there could be coaching on how to do things. And there are a lot of different ways to write books. Some people just can't put things down on paper. And I'm actually going to give your audience a writing tip for people who have a hard time putting their thoughts on paper. On every cell phone, every smartphone that's out there, there are apps that you can use that will record your voice. The Notes app is my most favorite one, because when you speak into the Notes app, or Evernote is another one, but the Notes app should be free on all the different phones that are out there. You just speak into it. Sometimes I get my greatest inspiration when I'm driving, or when I'm stepping out of the shower, and I keep my cell phone close by, because I can just open that Notes app and talk into that app and put my ideas on paper, literally on paper, that I can then take and put into a Word document, collect all my thoughts. And from there, you can construct your story or your book or whatever it is that you're writing at the time.
Yeah, and that's the exact method that I use, because I could have the best idea of my life when I pull in my driveway. By the time I get to the front door, I forgot about it. So I like keep my cell phone handy and record the notes, and then I go ahead and write up the stuff. But I'm known as a pretty good writer, and I'm not ragging against people that aren't good writers, because I know people that are barely literate or like
Yeah.
dyslexic, and got many bestsellers. So I mean,
Mhm.
legit bestsellers.
Yeah,
Um,
and for people who do have dyslexia, or the inability to translate what comes out of their brain onto the page, this is an amazing tool. There's always a way for you to get your story out there. So, and that's one of the first things I tell people. I have somebody in my life who is just all over the place, tends to go down rabbit holes every opportunity they get, and it's difficult when something that has been written by this person comes across my desk. It's painful. So yeah, so I have to, so I that's one person who I say, do not put anything on paper, talk into your phone, and then just copy and paste it into a Word document and send it to me, and it's much less painful, because she can speak, but rating is not necessarily on the top of the list of gifts that was given to this
Now,
person.
do any of those apps that you talk into automatically transcribe?
Well, the Notes app on the iPhone
Mm-hmm.
does transcribe. I think Evernote transcribes. You
Mm-hmm.
can also, there are transcription platforms out there that are pretty inexpensive, that you can actually record an audio recording using the voice recorder on your phone, and you can just submit it to them, and they will transcribe it for you and send it back to you in a Word document that you can play with.
Yeah, we use one, and I mean, I've been waiting for this for years, because in prior to these kind of things coming around, I never paid less than $60 per recorded hour in the
Hmm.
U.S. and $30 in the Philippines.
Hmm.
And now I get $5 per recorded hour, and it's back to me in 10 minutes. And it's
Sure,
90 to 95% accurate, which is no
sure.
better than when you're talking about certain things, it's not going to
Yeah,
be exactly accurate with even a person doing it. So
yeah.
yeah, so you can get stuff transcribed easily. And I really gained a big respect for editors when I did my first book, my major book, years and years ago, because this editor, and I know I think you have some on staff too, right? Uh,
Yeah, I have some assistant editors, but I've been editing for years.
Yeah. Well, you have a different mind than me because this lady, this is a 300 and some page book, and she said, "Hey Tom, this sentence that you have on page 264 should probably be on page 82 in this paragraph." I'm like, how the heck how do you keep track of that kind of stuff? Oh my God, what a mind! So you have two imprints, so Weeby Publishers and Book Endeavors. What's the difference?
So I actually have four imprints,
Oh,
and
okay.
the main publishing company is Authentic Endeavors Publishing.
Mhm.
That's the main publishing company, and though I have published books under just that in the past, I also expanded to Book Endeavors, BE Book Endeavors, and I've been publishing my children's books under that. So they mostly are. Most of those children's books are under Book Endeavors. Then Weeby Books, I collaborate with Kathleen O'Keefe Cannabis, and we bring business books.
What's her last name? Cannabis? She smokes with you, or what? What's that?
Oh my goodness. We're going from pottery to pot to
Yeah, well, any of my shows are going to be in the pot.
cannabis, Canavos, cannabis.
Oh, okay, all right,
But she and I collaborate on books for Weeby Books. We actually have a 3-book series coming out from Frank Zakari. He has written the first two, Business Secrets to Walking on Water, and then Business and Personal Secrets to Avoid Relationship Landmines. The one that we're editing right now is Secrets to Getting Unstuck. And then he's got a collaborative book that he's working on gathering authors for. So if anyone who's interested in knowing more about that, you can email me for that. But that one's it's called From the Battlefield to the Boardroom, and they're stories of people who have served in any of the armed forces in any capacity, who have come out of the service and have either started their own business or taken on a position with a corporate entity. And Larry Broughton is writing the forward for that. Larry was Special Forces, and he's an amazing man of business. And he's like the perfect person to be the writing the forward for that book. So for anyone who wants to know about that. And then the other one that I have coming on as well is with Peggy Wilms, Willms. Her brand is All Things Wellness, and her book title is The Fourfold Formula for All Things Wellness. She's writing with Dr. Marcus Vetstein, who is an endocrinologist, and she's collecting stories of wellness in any category. It could be physical wellness, emotional, spiritual wellness. There's a whole bunch of information that she's giving for people to have a variety of voices come forth with the topic of wellness. So, and those books go under Weeby Books. And then I have a Christian label. It's called Kingdom Book Endeavors, and those, of course, are for people who their books are Christian themed.
beautiful, boy. You're into a lot of different things, a lot of opportunity there, folks.
Yeah.
That she just rattled off. So we got to take a brief sponsor break. When we come back, we'll ask Teresa what's a typical day look like for her, because she screwed the commute a long time ago, and so we'll see how she works her daily schedule. So, folks, about 25 years ago, I kind of put the internet guru world, if you want to call it that, on its head, because people at my level were charging 50 or 100 grand up front to help other small businesses with online stuff. And I knew a lot of these people. They're just rip-offs, and they'd never help you once they got their money. So I said, it's too risky for small business. I'm a big small business advocate. And I said, okay, I'm going to charge an entry fee that's like 10 times lower than what they're charging. And then I'm going to tie my success to your success. So for me to get my 50,000, you have to net 200,000. Well, people really like this, and 1,700 students later, it's still going strong. Teresa's seen me speak, and people
Mhm.
sign up at these events, and I don't have any lawsuits, any complaints. It doesn't mean everybody did the work. All right, I won't claim that. But the thing is nobody will put their program up against mine because they can't. I'm a fanatic. I'm a crazy fanatic that threw a teleclass on Thanksgiving one day because I forgot it was Thanksgiving. That's how bad I am. So, but it's good to have a fanatic on your side that knows what they're doing. So you can check it out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. We have enormous numbers of unique things you cannot get anywhere else, like an immersion weekend in Virginia Beach, and where you actually live in my estate with me for an immersion weekend. You have access to our TV studio. You get a scholarship to our school that you can gift to someone in your life or use for extra training. Just an amazing program, and that's why it's lasted so darn long. All right, so check it out, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. All right, let's get back to the main event. Teresa Velardi's here. She's an author and publisher and podcast host. So, Teresa, what's a typical day look like for you? Do you get up early? Do you work out? Do you meditate? Do you eat? What do you do?
So I start my day anywhere between 7 and 8:30, depending on how long I've been working the night before. I try to get good sleep, but that doesn't always happen because my brain goes a mile a minute. So I get up in the morning and I sit down with a cup of coffee and my journal, and I write every day, and I'll look for a scripture for the day, and start my day just being quiet. My morning quiet time makes a huge difference, and for people who are living life either as an entrepreneur at home or even when you're going to work, to have a moment to yourself, a moment with whoever or whatever you call God, just to be able to be who you are and take a check on where you are in that moment. And maybe there's something that you need to do during that day that will make you feel better about yourself, make you feel better about what you do, or will bring you an idea that you didn't even know was living in your head that could potentially be a moneymaker down the line, or even something that you realize that you didn't have the capability of doing and it comes easy to you. And that I've found a lot of things in my morning quiet time. And then I'll start my day, after morning routine, shower, breakfast, or whatever. And I'll start my day working with, if I've got an editing job in the hopper, I'll work on that, or I'll plan out things like this in my day, like an interview with someone. I'll decide who's going to be my guest on my podcast. If I have people that I need to call for that, I usually schedule out in advance, maybe 2 or 3 months. But basically my daily work is talking to people. Maybe I have a conversation with my illustrator who's in the Philippines, super talented guy. And those are always fun because we get to take what people give me in writing, about what they think the character looks like. I get the opportunity to see it come alive on the page. So that's always a great way to start the day. They're 12 hours ahead of us, so that's usually early in the morning. So my day goes by, just working at my desk. If I've got appointments out of the house, maybe I'll go to a lunch with a friend. Working from home for me is so awesome because I get the flexibility to say, when somebody says, "Hey, are you busy? Can you meet me for lunch?" And I get the flexibility on many occasions to say yes, and I enjoy that. And then, my son owns a restaurant, so maybe in the evening I might go go see him for a little while, have a meal with him, and then come home and do whatever I'm inspired to do as far as writing or answering emails, which happens throughout the day, and just doing my best to make what I've been given work not only for me but for those who touch my life.
It's a beautiful lifestyle business. The only change I do is when they ask me to lunch, I say, "Who's buying?" Before I say yes or not, So- and where are we going?
Well, you can come to northeastern Pennsylvania. I'll take you to lunch at my son's restaurant. It's
Well,
awesome.
yeah, you're a homegirl. Are you originally from PA?
No, I'm a
Oh,
Long Islander. I'm a
oh,
Long
okay.
Island girl.
Well, how'd you end up in Pennsylvania?
Uh,
You
it's,
wanted another place with high taxes, right?
yeah, you're right. No, actually, in comparison to Long Island, the taxes in northeastern Pennsylvania are nothing.
Well, I get it,
Um,
yeah, but it's
yeah,
still it's known as the nickname is Land of Taxes, Pennsylvania.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I came here because I really needed to have a better place for myself and my son. My ex-husband was a nightmare, so I wanted to be away from that, but close enough to my family that I was a 3-hour drive rather than a 3-hour plane flight. So
Mhm.
I ended up in Pennsylvania, and I wanted to give more space for the creative side of me, and I wasn't able to do that. I was constantly working. I was before this, I was an insurance agent for 20 years, and
Oh, I didn't
you want to talk about dry.
know that. See,
Yeah.
see, I had a bartender one night at my time at my nightclub and was selling insurance on the side. It was life insurance, and I said, "This is easy, man. You just call the day before your appointment. You call in a death threat to the family, and then I mean, this I don't know if that's exactly ethical by all your snooty standards, but I don't. It would work,
Yeah.
and
Leave it to you to come up with something like
well,
that,
yeah, it
Tom.
just made sense for me. I don't know. So tell them how they get a hold of you.
Just email me, Teresa Velardi at gmail.com.
Yeah,
It's
spell
Teresa
it
with
for them
an A.
because
Yeah.
Teresa
Mhm.
sometimes has an H or something.
Yeah. Teresa, V as in Victor, Elar, D as in David, I at gmail.com. And by the way, I'm not that person that you found in the obituaries,
Good.
but ironically, I did have gallbladder surgery in 1999. So who knows? Maybe I had a near death experience
Oh,
somewhere.
it's possible. so, so all right. Well, I'm glad you took time away from your
Yeah.
cannabis friend to
Yeah.
talk to us today.
And there's one more thing that I want to touch on that I didn't talk about as
Okay,
far as my daily routine, if you don't mind.
go ahead.
I'm one that watches what's going on around me and watching what's going on with the economy and whatnot. I mean, I've watched the gas prices go from
Huh,
$2 a
yeah.
gallon to more than 4.50 a gallon in Pennsylvania now. And so with what's going on in the economy and inflation and whatnot, a lot of people are finding that it's and the dollar being valued at nothing, a lot of people are finding that it's prudent to start looking at things like precious metals in order to secure your future. So I've gotten involved with a company that really helps people to save money on a regular basis without even feeling like they're saving money by buying precious metals and products made with precious metals. So for anybody who might be interested in talking to me about that and learning more, just email me at that address, teresavelardi at gmail.com, and just put in the subject matter silver. And if you want to talk to me about books, you can just put in the subject matter of I want to be a writer, and I will be happy to help you on both of those
Or
topics.
they could put in their silver books, and then if they
There
want
you
to write a
go.
book about silver, and you know what?
Yeah.
People are. Here's the thing, Teresa. People are always bugging me to buy silver and gold, and I
Mhm.
said, I'm going to buy bullets because if I have enough bullets, I can get all the silver and gold I
Yeah, that's what you said to me when we had that conversation. I
want.
think you know something. You have got your mind is
I know.
unbelievably brilliant,
Well,
Tom.
you're saying brilliant, but you're thinking some other term, probably. So,
No, I think you're brilliant. You know why? Because here's the thing: not everybody can be as quick-witted as you, and really be able to like, regardless of what's going on in the world. I mean, we've had a conversation where we've been laughing and having fun, and still talking about things that are making a difference for people. The question I have for you
a
is, how
good
do you feel about
difference.
it? How do you feel about anthologies now that we've had a short conversation about them?
I'm gonna when I go on the pot, I'm gonna think about pot, pottery, and if anthologies have a place. Well, now that you said it's mostly for I don't want to say beginners, but people that aren't sure about their writing skills and maybe don't have a lot of content to get started, okay. But as long as it doesn't cost a fortune and then they have to uh,
Yeah.
hawk their lungs to pay for it. That's what
Yeah, no, and that's not, and I think that's highway robbery for people who charge a fortune for this. And it's not just for beginners, it's for people like I've written in a ton of anthologies. I'm out all over the place with you know, things that have happened in my life that are relative to whatever the topic is. And I'm a decent writer. You know, but I haven't, and the conversation that we had at the beginning with the steps to making pottery, that's, I'm working on that right now, and that's going to have just my name on it. But you know, it's a great way to have, it brings visibility to who you are. It brings visibility. Yeah, best try and say that 3 times fast. It brings voice to what you have to say, and it's just a good way for people to, I said this before, I'll say it again, to dip their toe in the water when it comes to being a writer. And, you know, one of the things that I believe it or not, there are a lot of people who are afraid to tell their story. What if so-and-so reads it? What if this one reads it? What if that one's read it? Well, if you're keeping the names changed to protect the innocent, I wouldn't worry about it, you know, so.
So, what's the thing called that goes around in circles when you're making pottery?
A potter's wheel.
Oh, potter's wheel. Okay. I was thinking if there's some play on words on the book title, you know, how to get on the pot. Or, or so anyway, you're the expert on writing. So thanks so much for coming on, Teresa.
Tom, this has been great fun. Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. We'll catch y'all in the next episode. See you later.